Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Night Live. Posh picked up another massive win yesterday, taking on third in the league, Oxford, and beating them by 3-0. An unbelievable display, which seems to be sort of par for the course now for Posh. Is this our season? Well, we'll discuss that question and many more on tonight's Sunday Night Live. Hello. How is everybody doing this fine Sunday evening?
Okay.
Brilliant
I'm
answer.
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Definitely better for 3 points yesterday. We'll start there. How were you feeling going into the game? Obviously, I think we all made pretty confident predictions, but were you actually expecting a Posh win? And were you surprised at the dominant display that you saw?
No, I wasn't surprised at all. That's exactly what I was expecting going into the game. I said 2-0, and I think 3. It could have been a lot more. But no, I'm really happy with the win. I don't know what's going on with my camera, by the way. I'm on a backup laptop, so the camera you're gonna have to live with the black line that randomly flashes every now and again.
I'm okay. I don't know if I'm reading this wrong by Josh Mackey and whether it's a sarcastic comment in the chat.
Oh, is he saying that he's rubbish? Yeah,
that is an interesting comment.
No, so Josh Mackey's been running this narrative. I met him at half time. He was running this narrative to me at half time and saying that we're rubbish, and I completely disagree. I think we made third in the league look rubbish. So to me, I don't really understand where he's got that. I didn't see them threaten at all game either. So where the three penalties have come from, I really don't know. But at the end of the day, it's 3 points. Whether you think we're rubbish or whether I think we're brilliant, it doesn't matter. It's 3 points. We're fourth in the table. Game in hand over Stevenage, we're third. And we're really, really pushing into those automatic places. So whether it was an awful performance or a brilliant one, that doesn't matter. We still got 3 points.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I'd love to hear, Josh Mackey, if you put in the chat a bit more detail why you think that was a terrible game, because I think I could give a lot of reasons why that was a fantastic performance. Tobber, obviously you were there, a bit inebriated, so we don't know how well you'll remember the game, but how did you find it for the bits that you do remember?
Well, he missed the second goal.
I didn't expect it to be dominant as it was. I'll be honest, I didn't really know what to expect coming into the game, but I thought Oxford would have looked a better team than they did yesterday. I really did not expect them to not do anything, really.
Yeah, they were pretty poor, pretty unaggressive. They didn't really attack us a lot. I mean, I disagree that they should have had penalties, and I agree with sort of Fingers here. I think, I thought the referee was excellent yesterday. It felt like a free-flowing game. I don't really remember the referee disrupting the flow of the game at any point. And yeah, I mean, Oxford players in the second half just started getting into the penalty area with their sort of 1,000 fans behind that goal, just going down and shouting for penalties and seeing what happened. And I think that's maybe what people have mistaken for genuine penalty shouts, because I think if any of them are given, it's very, very harsh. Our passing was out of place, slow start, too many wasted opportunities. I mean, again, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, Caden, because I know you were up the end of the family stand, of the Desco in the second half. In the first half, sorry, and so you probably saw our attacking. I thought we were quite good going forward.
Yeah, we were definitely good going forward. Although a few one-on-one chances could have been finished from. I remember one from Randall, which was saved by the keeper's foot. But to be fair to the keeper, it was a good save. And then Ricky made a really good run, and it probably should have been finished. But you've got to give him credit for making a great chance. It's just a shame that he didn't score.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you can sort of forgive players that miss those kind of chances when they've created them for themselves from nothing, because it's his chance to go and miss. And obviously, you'd like him to score it because it adds a lot of gloss to a scoreline. But it was already a pretty excellent scoreline as it is. So obviously, Oxford were third going into that game. You know, they've not had the best form recently, and they've lost Liam Manning, who was such a key part as to why they were that high in the table. But they were third going into the game. They now sit below Posh, who are fourth, 1 point off second, a point off third as well, or is it the same points as third, but a level near third, and with a game in hand on Stevenage in third. How realistic is it to assume that Posh are in a race for the automatics this season?
I think it's very safe to assume they're in a race for the automatic promotions. I think it's very safe to assume. I think we're making teams that should look brilliant terrible, and I believe that. I don't see why we can't do it, and I've been saying this for weeks now. That our aspirations at the beginning of the season were 9th, and this team has massively overachieved. And now watching Peterborough play is like I enjoy watching my team, which we didn't say at the beginning of the season. You know, after Portsmouth, Derby, and Cobblers, and then a Leyton Orient draw when we went 1-0 up, we had that massive stage where we have no character, and I couldn't enjoy watching my team. And now we're in full flow, and every minute I have absolute faith. 1-0 up, 2-0 up, 3-0 up. 1-0 down, even 2-0 down, even that will show character enough to get a result. And I think that's the most important thing, that we've got brilliant character. And from where we've come from last season, I think it's really shown how much Darren Ferguson and the impact that he's had in this squad. So no, I'm really pleased, and I definitely think we're in a race for the automatics.
Yeah, and obviously I think we'll all have, if automatics are our goal for this season, I think we'll all have one eye on the big game in League One tomorrow night, which is Bolton versus Portsmouth. I wonder what would your ideal result be in that one?
0-0 draw. No goal advantages. Nothing. Boring game. No one gets to win. Solid 0-0.
Yeah, I think I can agree with you. Now, this is another comment from Josh Mackey, which does sort of confuse me, because he said we were rubbish yesterday and that we're getting lucky, but then we're winning the league by 20 points. Josh Mackey, I feel like he might be on a bit of a wind-up, guys. I don't know if that's just me.
George Mackey has a tendency with wind-ups. He likes them, so I can see why. But at the end of the day, look, if we win the league by 20 points, fair play, Josh Mackey. We won't, but fair play. Realistically, I don't even think we'll win the league. I think we'll fight for it, but I don't think we'll win it. I think Bolton will win it this year. And I think it'd be probably safest option would be Bolton, Peterborough, Portsmouth would be my top 3 this season. I think that's been proven. I really do think that we can race for it. But no, I don't think we'll win. I don't think we'll win the league. And if we do, it won't be by 20 points. It'll be by fine margins.
Yeah, I think. Sorry, go on, Caden.
Well, I've got to say, it really just depends on who we sell in January. It's quite obvious, but if we were to get rid of Ronnie and Jono and didn't replace them, I think part of me would be worried. Although you would like to hope that someone like Critchlow would step up. I guess Katongo is more of a centre mid from what we've been seeing recently, but I mean, when I guess you can say when Jono goes, Mothersile, you'd like to see him step up a little bit more. We've seen a little bit from him so far, but let's see how he performs in the league.
And I'm glad Scotty's pulled up the Derby. I do think they are still in the running. They've got a manager that's come up from League One with experience with Rotherham. They've still got a team that can finish top 2. And if they've got a massive fan base, if they can get behind their team at home, that's a massive boost. I do think Derby are one of those teams to count for still. I think we should rule them out. And yet they are the only team that to beat us at home this season. So.
Yeah, they were. I mean, they were excellent when they came to us. Every shot in that first half period went in. They looked like a team that they looked like one of those teams that just get promotion. It was like Ipswich when they played us. They had about 3 attacks and they scored all 3. And they were just classy and big, and they bullied us. And that was what it felt like playing against Derby in August. So, yeah, I think that Derby is a very good shout. Lods Green says Rodney replacement is Katongo. Jono doesn't need replacing. I agree on the Jono one. I do think though that if Ronnie goes in January, because it is still an if, it's not like there's been something agreed. I think it is still an if. If Ronnie goes, do we need another one in just for numbers, or are we fine? Max
No,
is
we have
shaking his
Manny
head.
Fernandez. We have Manny Fernandez. We don't need anyone else. We have Manny Fernandez.
Got Manny Fernandez.
Yes, give it Manny
Although he's more of a striker.
No, Caden, shut up. Give it Manny Fernandez and Josh Knight to the end of the season, and we'll be out. I promise you. The bloke's a gem. I love him. And we have Katongo and Critchlow in backup positions. And by the way, Katongo can play anywhere he wants to. He can play centre mid, he can play left back, he can play right back, he can play centre back, he can play anywhere. So, like, realistically, I think we've got plenty of depth in Katongo. And with Manny Fernandez, I think Manny Fernandez and Josh Knight. We don't need to waste our money there. We can strengthen. Poku might be on the way out. Everett Clark might be on the way out. They've been both linked to championship sides. So if we're looking at places that we really, really, really need to strengthen, I'd rather have Emmanuel Fernandez play instead of Ronnie Edwards than Ajiboye play over Poku or Mason Clark. Like, we need to strengthen other areas.
Yeah, I guess I agree with you. I mean, Fernandez has shown a lot of quality in the games that he's played. He would improve our ability to threaten teams from set pieces as well, which is something that we don't necessarily do at the minute, at least, with big headers and whipping balls into the area. I do agree with you that Fernandez probably is good enough to be given at least a role cameoing in League One. Sorry, Toba.
No, I was just going to say, Max, I don't agree with the Fernandez score. I'm not going to lie to you. I think Katongo is at least 5 steps ahead of him. I don't think Fernandez is very good on his feet at all. And that's not what you want from a defender. Yes, he can score headers. Yes, he's bloody 8 foot tall. But I just don't think he's a cut-out week out League One defender.
What Manny Fernandez brings to our side is, aerial ability, which is what our back four lacks. So if we bring Katongo in, who I agree is probably better on his feet than Manny Fernandez, but Manny Fernandez will grow. Critchlow grew. When he's come on as a substitute, he's grown and he looks much better. Manny Fernandez will do the same, and he's young and has a lot of potential. Katongo is so much better as a sub to come off for tired. Like, if Kyoto's tired, Katongo can come on and play his role really, really well. Left back, Katongo can do it. If Josh Knight gets tired, Katongo can do it. Even if Manny Fernandez gets tired, Katongo can do it. And same with Cipriano. Like, he is so good with versatility that if we're starting with centre back, we lose that versatility on our bench.
Would you not argue Fernandez can come on and do that?
But he can't play in all those positions. No,
but we've got into the midfield. We can bring on Fuchs, or we can bring on De Havilland if Hector gets injured.
And you think De Havilland's better than Katongo in centre mid? Because I disagree.
No, I don't. But that's why Katongo should be centre back.
Yeah. So but then we lose that. We lose the versatility off the bench. Is what I'm saying. Is that if we start Katongo at centre back, we lose all versatility coming on. Why would we waste someone who is so good at being versatile when we have a centre back sat, a really good young centre back sat just doing nothing?
I don't think.
What I would argue though is, why would we waste a really good player on the bench?
We're not wasting a really good player on the bench because he brings so much versatility. That's what I'm saying.
I think we've got other players in those areas that can come on instead of him if Katongo starts centre back.
So what about fullbacks then?
Well, when do we ever change fullbacks in games?
We take Kyoto off quite a lot. We also take Burrows off as well. So who comes on?
Sturge comes on for Burrows.
And he dropped 3 disaster classes in the 3 games that he came on. He hasn't come on since.
Yeah, but look what Fernandez did. Was it against Tottenham in the 21s? I can't remember what game it was where he just lost the ball under his feet. Or was it Pompey away in the cup when he couldn't play with his feet?
But he brings so much to us aerially. We have got the shortest. I think we've got one of the shortest back fours in the league. So I don't think we need aerial battles when we can score from on the floor though. What?
I
The
don't think
defensively,
I'm talking about defensive
not-
security.
you just said aerially.
Yeah, aerially, yes. From corners. What do you mean? What do you mean? I'm not talking about bringing him on to score a header and lumping him up front. I'm talking about when the corners come in.
Fernandez is a better striker than he's centre half.
Oh my god!
Oh, wow.
Come on, Toby.
Terrible.
It's a joke.
howler.
It's a
It's
joke.
not. I don't think it is.
Oh my
I
god!
don't think it is. I just think his ball playing lets him down at centre back.
Yeah,
And
what?
his decision making, it's composure. Nah, just kick it. It goes in.
Right. Well, we'll move
2-0,
on
Tubber.
we'll move on from
Stop
this
that.
discussion. We'll
That's
save it
not-
for our special,
That's not a
our
bad take at
transfer
all.
special live, when we'll talk about all the stuff to do with the January window, because that's a big. I feel like we've unearthed something there that needs to be explored a bit later. But we'll move on to some more comments. Lods Green brings up a good point, which is actually going to be my next sort of topic of conversation, was the EFL trophy. Got one more game against Crawley at home, and then it's 2 games and suddenly Wembley. So at what point do we get very serious about the EFL trophy? Will it hinder our ability to do well in the league? What are your guys' thoughts on the EFL trophy as a whole?
The youngsters have done brilliant so far in the group stage, and in the round of 32, I'm pretty sure it was. And I don't think we've really started many first team players so far, and we've won 3 out of 4? Is it 3 out of 4 games so far?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty solid, to be fair, against some decent sides. So I think we keep it going until maybe the semi-finals, I'd say.
I've been saying we've been going to Wembley since the start. I think it's guaranteed. I mean, unless I think best case scenario, we've got Portsmouth and West Ham on the 21s, which are definitely the 2 best sides in the group, in the southern section. So I hope they draw each other, and then one of them's got to go, and then we with any sort of luck, we'll get away with not playing them into the semi-finals. But Caden's right. I think we'll breeze through under 16. I think we'll win in the quarterfinals. It will just be whether or not we can stomach a semi-final, and then. But I also don't mind getting knocked out either. By the way, because if we're pushing for automatics, I think it's a game less that we've got to worry about, and another 90 minutes, where we could risk an injury. I'm more than happy to go out as well. But a trip to Wembley, I don't think anyone would ever turn down. And I think this is our best chance to do it. And I think in cup competitions this year, I don't think Fergie's really had a lot of luck in previous years. We're playing Leeds at home in the FA Cup in the 3rd round, which is absolutely huge. And we've got a very good opportunity to go to Wembley in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy. So, really, really, really solid, both in the league and cup competitions. Honestly, it's such a good season, right? This season is, especially off the back of what happened last season as well, such a good season to watch us. Seriously, it's really, really brilliant.
Yeah, I agree. I think I disagree on the point that I won't be disappointed if we go out. I think I'll be really disappointed if we go out. Personally, if we go out to Crawley at the start of January, I'll be really disappointed, because I'll be thinking that's a really good, going to Wembley is a great opportunity for the fans, for the players. It's a day that you'll remember, because it doesn't happen often for clubs like us. And, we're not Man City, where going to Wembley is like a second home game at this point. It will really mean something to all of us, I'm sure, if we get to Wembley. So I think to throw away any opportunity that we have of making that happen, I think would be a foolish thing to do. And I hope Fergie goes strong enough that we can quite convincingly see off Crawley in early January.
It's a really good question from Harry there, by the way.
Let me just scroll down. I'm trying to keep up with the chat. Mr. Zone asks about the better centre midfield partnership, Taylor and Norburn or Collins and Cipriano. I'm going to start this one off. Collins and Cipriano is better. And I'll debate anyone on that for hours. anybody
Well,
disagree.
luckily we don't have
In-
ours, Charlie.
Right.
We don't have ours.
Individually, I would say I would say Norburn and Taylor are better. But as a partnership, I would have to agree Collins and Cipriani.
But I think, I mean, I may be wrong.
He's agreeing with you. He's agreeing.
I agree. Let me get my stats up as well, just to back up mine and Caden's point of view as well, because I think, if I remember rightly, actually towards the tail end of the season, towards the tail end of the season, our probably two best displays away at Barnsley, and the first leg of the playoffs, we actually didn't even play Norburn and Norburn and Taylor as the defensive midfield partnership. And I think people forget that. It was actually Cipriano and Norburn, and Taylor played as number 10. So this whole myth that they were our best performance of the season came without them as our centre midfield partnership, in my opinion. So,
Charlie,
make that what you will.
Tom doesn't agree with you. Tom thinks Taylor and Norburn are better.
Well, Tobber,
Go on, Tobber, to fight your
unmute
corner.
yourself, mate.
Fight your corner.
I bet you brought some research, Tobber. I hope you brought some research, some statistics.
I've got a Bible that I can look at. I do think Taylor and Norburn are better. I do. I think they offered a lot more from the midfield. Yeah, I think Hector, yes, he has done brilliant. He's done much better than he did last season. Collins, he's gone under the radar for how good he's been. I don't think he's getting the praise he deserves. But then I just don't think they're on the same level as Collins and Norburn. That's not Norburn and Taylor. I just don't think they're on the same level as them.
That's not a very good argument.
Yeah, that's
I don't care.
Saying they're not. See, I think it's undebatable whether that's on the same sort of level. They're both excellent League One centre midfield partnerships, but
when the other team are attacking, Charlie, and they're coming through the middle, who would you rather have in midfield to break the play up?
Cipriano every day of the week.
What, over Norburn?
100%. Cipriano on the recovery. Cipriano on the recovery is better than Norburn. He's long. He's got dangly legs. He is. He's better.
It's bonkers.
He's the least one Rodri.
What I love about Cipriano that I don't think Norburn did successfully is when we're in attack, Cipriano will drop into a back three, and it solidifies our phase of play far better than Norburn did. And now, individually, if you're going, I agree with Caden. Individually, if you're going off individual talent, I think Jack Taylor playing in the Championship and Ipswich in Ipswich, and Norburn playing for still a very good League One side, I think says it all about individual talent. However, I think our phase of play is far better with Cipriano and Collins than it was Jack Taylor and Norburn, considering as well that Jack Taylor was, I think, better as a 10 rather than in the partnership. So I think the question asked about partnership, I think it's Cipriano and Collins. Individually, there's an argument, but I think partnership, I think it's Cipriano and Collins, and I don't think there's really a very strong debate.
No, I completely agree. I think if someone had to say to me, right, you have an option, you can get Taylor and Norburn in there in that central defensive midfield position in this team right now, or you can get Cipriano and Collins. I'm going for Cipriano and Collins all day long. They complement each other a lot better than I think Norburn and Taylor did.
You wouldn't take Jack Taylor back if you had the chance, and you'll keep Collins.
That's not what I said. I said that I would take, if I had the option to keep Cipriano and Collins or to get Norburn and Taylor back, I'd keep Cipriano and Collins.
I think that's bonkers.
There was a really good question to move on. There's a really good question. Anamar said, I'm more concerned that a Championship club doesn't come in for one of the most experienced and successful managers in the EFL and Fergie, then all of our plans are undone. And I actually would like to discuss that with I think, a Norwich sacking on the horizon and Swansea as well. I don't think, as much as we are concerned, that Fergie would go this season. I think he's had spells of success every single time he's managed us, and he hasn't had a spell of success this. I think he'll get us up. He'll steady in the season and he'll get us up. I think we do go up this season. And then next season, I think it all depends on how much he's financially backed to get the players that he needs and he wants.
I mean, listen, it dawned on me last night. I remember because I texted the group chat and said,
He had a dream, as he says.
I remember I texted the group chat and said, I'm really scared that Fergie's going out. And another big manager, again in the Championship at a big club, has been sacked today. Stoke are now looking for a new manager. I just don't. I mean, if I was the chairman of one of these Championship clubs and I'm seeing what Fergie did last season to get us in the playoffs, the credentials that Fergie's had in the past, what Fergie's doing right now with a group, building this togetherness, I'm thinking, yes, please. I want some of that in my dressing room. I want that in my football club. I want his influence in my football club. And so, yeah, it is something I'm nervous about. I don't want him to leave. I love Fergie. And I really don't want him to go. But I think if Posh fans are completely unworried about it, I think then they may be fooling themselves a little bit.
I do think, though, Charlie, that Fergie is a much better League One manager than he is Championship. And I think... Go on, then.
It's two different divisions. The Championship's a far, more competitive and tougher league. It's like saying...
That's what I mean.
Yeah, but
I don't think
Fergie isn't really a debate.
No, because then it shouldn't be a question. Because the teams that are looking at Fergie or potentially looking at Fergie are all Championship. And I don't think we could be scared of losing him because I don't think teams go for Fergie if they're in the Championship.
Fergie hasn't done it in the Championship. So
I think he's got more chance to go to a Portsmouth in the League One than he used to Stoke in the Championship.
Yeah, to be fair, I do agree with that because he's not really done it in the Championship, and Championship teams will be looking for managers that have done successful in the Championship, especially ones that want to be, pushing up there for promotion.
You know what team scares me for Fergie, and I hate Wrexham because one, he had a playing career there. Two, they have copious amounts of money. Three, their manager is going to leave at some point. And four, when their manager leaves, they're in the next couple of years, they're gonna be in League One and they're gonna be looking to get promoted from League One. And how do you get promoted from League One? You hire a man that is, statistically the best man you can go and get right now to get you out of League One. And who is that man? If you're looking for a man to come in and build a squad, if you're looking for a man who has connections to the club, who is it? It's Darren Ferguson. And that scares me. And that is, I think that's a very real possibility. And
Wrexham would probably bring Ben Foster as manager, if anything.
I mean, possibly, but
or Ryan Reynolds would become the manager.
No, I just think they're a club. I think one of the ones that I don't think people mention that could poach are. But realistically, if Wrexham tried right now, I think they could poach most of our players. So,
well, yeah, because they offer higher wage bills.
Exactly, and if they can offer Fergie a higher wage bill as well as give him his own project, a much bigger transfer budget, and a club that is going to be in the Championship at some point in the next couple of years because that's just the direction that they're going in, and who have a massive fan base. Obviously, they're gonna. That's a job that he's going to have to really, really consider, and I think it is a job that he's going to be offered in the next couple of years. And whether you agree with me or not, I mean, we can debate that, but I just don't see why they wouldn't look to hire him when they get to League One.
But Charlie, why would Wrexham get rid of Phil Parkinson?
Because he's not. I mean,
they'll have a little drop of form, and it'll get sacked.
I just don't see him going all the way with them at all. I just don't see it. I really don't. I think.
But you see Fergie going all the way with them?
I see them believing that Fergie can go all the way with them. I see them believing that when he gets sacked, that when they're in League One and Parkinson gets sacked, I see them thinking that Fergie could be the best man to get them out of League One. I see that logic being sound.
If they're thinking long term, they want to be hiring someone that's done it them in more leagues than just League One.
You have to think about though. I mean, Fergie's not really had many opportunities in the Championship.
He has with Posh, but I get what you mean. He's not really had the money to spend. I see
Yeah.
that argument, but on paper, teams are just going to be looking like, they're going to be looking at Fergie. Great manager for League One teams, but not in the Championship. It's just stats wise, really.
Yeah, I agree. But again, if you're looking at when Wrexham are in the League One stage of their development, and if Parkinson's gone, I think that's going to be someone that they're going to look to bring in. But we'll move on from the whole Fergie debate. If anyone has any more comments that they want us to talk about, do put them in, because that's always interesting. This is one that I don't think we will talk about. We'll move on. So, 15 points available between now and the 2nd of January. I'll read you the fixtures in case you don't know them off the top of your head. Fleetwood away, Shrewsbury away, Reading at home, Barnsley at home, and Derby away. If we are looking to get in those automatic promotion places or in and about, how many points do you think we should be getting from this month? And how many points do you think we will get from this month? I'll start with you, Max. Or not?
All of the points. We get all of the points. Fleetwood have been in awful form. I think they've lost 5 games 3-0 consecutively. So if we were to lose to Fleetwood, it would be horrible. So I think there'll be a big win coming against Fleetwood. I could be wrong and I could get clipped, but that's the risk you run. I think really the only game that I'm really worried about would probably be Barnsley. I think Barnsley's a really big game. Barnsley will be up there.
What about Derby away?
I haven't got there yet, Kane. I'm still in December. You'll have to wait a minute. Bloody hell. Shrewsbury will be a good game. Derby away. Derby away is always I never think really we get much out of Derby away, but I quite like going to Derby. I live here, so I quite like visiting the Pride Park on an away day. Although it's a bit rubbish, but we'll win at Pride Park. I'm a feeling. But no, in all seriousness, I think our biggest challenge will be Barnsley, and I think Derby as well, our 2 biggest challenges. But I think if we can get 3 points out of Fleetwood and Shrewsbury, and then we can focus on Barnsley and Derby when they come around to it.
I was muted. Fleetwood is a potential banana skin. They are in awful form, but it's Fleetwood versus Peterborough, and we don't normally do well against Fleetwood. We don't. Even they beat us. Was it they did a double over us last season? Was it 1-0? Wasn't it both times?
No,
even at home.
They did.
Even at home,
they did. That's true.
That
was the worst game I've ever seen.
We suck against Fleetwood. I don't think it'll be comfortable. We might get the job done, and if we do, then we are winning the league. But it's just potential banana skin. I reckon it's just a broom cross to Marriott winner.
Have you two said how many points you think we'll get?
Max said, how many did Max say?
All of the points. How many points is all of the points?
15. 5 games.
15 points.
5 times 3.
I didn't do very well at maths, to be fair, Ken. So thank you very much for that. 15 points out of 15. Thank you very much.
Hayden, what are your thoughts?
Tom, what about yours? Your points.
We won't get 15. We won't get 15. I see Barnsley being a draw. Are we counting Derby as the 5? Is Derby the next 5?
Can you count?
Well, yes.
No, Derby next 5. We don't beat Derby away, and we don't beat Barnsley. It's just got to be realistic. I don't think we get 15. I'll be happy with 12, maybe 12, 9. I'll be happy with
9.
I don't see us losing, but I just don't see us winning every game. I don't know.
Right. Being realistic,
But
I'm going to
Topper,
go 10 points. Okay.
Would you rather, Topper, 3 points Would you rather 1 point or no points, Stopper? That's what you got to.
1 point, mate. Obviously, but I just think I know Fleetwood's an awful form, but it's possibly Fleetwood. Look, Derby away, we suck at Derby away. Last 2 times lost in the 90th minute. Like, we're good against Barnsley, but that's if that's at Oakwell. If it's at London Road, we're not very good against Barnsley. That's what we got to be realistic. That's all.
Right, can I finally say mine?
Yeah.
No.
Right, so I think we'll beat Fleetwood, we'll beat Shrewsbury, we'll beat Reading, quite comfortably. That'll be 3 wins. Well, that won't be 3 wins in a row. I don't know how many wins that'll be in a row, but there'll be quite a few. And then it's Barnsley at home, and I think we'll get a draw. So that'll be another game unbeaten. Something like a 1-1, 2-1, something like that. And then Derby away, lost the last 2 there. Yeah. I really like going Derby away. It's just the actual game itself, which is never brilliant. I think we'll lose. I think we'll lose 3-0. I think we could get battered.
That'll be a very disappointing day. My predictions are: I think we'll beat Fleetwood away. I think we'll beat Shrewsbury away. I think we'll beat Reading at home. I think we'll beat Barnsley at home, and I think we'll draw away at Derby 1-1. So that's my predictions. It's ambitious, I know, but if we're all saying we should be backing us to make a promotion push, those are the kind of results that teams that are going to make a promotion push have got to be getting, have got to be attaining consistently, and especially in times so key as Christmas. So yeah, has anybody got any final thoughts before we wrap up?
I've got to say, I think the second half of the season on paper should be easier than the first. We had a lot of hard games away from home. Obviously, after Derby, I think that's when it sort of turns. That's when we get a little bit easier games. But then again, you're going to play teams that play more defensively, which can make the game harder, and we're going to have to battle more to get wins. But yeah, I think second half of the season could be the turning point, and we could pick up more points than we did in the first half.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think, having games in the bank against Pompey and Bolton and Stevenage at home is going to be a big thing next season. If we are in that sort of push to have those games at London Road, where the crowds start getting a little bit busier, when hopefully we resolve an agreement where we have the desk go for games like that to make a bit more of an atmosphere, I think it'll be really exciting, and I think there'll be really good games and really huge games and potentially historic games. And obviously Bolton, I think that's not mentioned enough. Bolton at home is the last game of the season. How dramatic could that be? We don't know right now, but
Is Bolton the last game?
I believe so.
I thought it was Bristol Rovers away, unless that's
our last away game.
Yeah, Rovers is the last away game, but our last actual game is Bolton.
Wow.
That could be a crazy game, because it'll either be an incredible atmosphere where we both get promoted, or it'll be one where one misses out. Maybe we both miss out. Maybe we're miles off it by then, but something tells me we won't be. I think it has potential to be an absolutely lunatic game.
Hopefully it won't end 5-0 again, eh?
Yeah, God, that would be a very disappointing final day. Right, anyway, we'll end it here then. Sorry, Stairs.
That's booking. Anyway,
put you back in.
So I think. Oh, hello. Oh, I only wanted my final thoughts. I didn't want to be zoomed in on.
Sorry.
That's the second yellow. That. I think. I think our January is more important. I think our January is more important than the summer. I think if we want to really go and push for automatic promotion, I think our January window could be the difference between second and third. In fact, I could even see it being the difference between third and sixth. We really need to have a good positive January transfer window. Some contracts need sorting out. Some players need signing who are already here, and we need to focus on strengthening our squad massively to make sure that an injury crisis isn't going to happen. We could lose players that are integral to our success. We could lose Poku, Ethel, Mason Clark. We are losing Jono, that's a fact. We could lose Ronnie, and I think that's also going to be a fact, unfortunately. People could even come in for Kiprianu. I think it's been amazing. So we could lose a lot of players in January. It's whether or not we can keep them. We could even lose Josh Knight is another one. So I think we need backups for backups for backups. I think we need to be prepared to get absolutely raided. And if we have a good January window, I really do think automatics are on the horizon.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that's a good way to sum it up. I think January is going to be huge, but let's all enjoy the ride, because it is going to be a roller coaster second half of the season. Hope you've enjoyed tonight's Sunday Night Live. It's been a roller coaster in itself. So thank you to Max, to Tobba, and to Caden for joining me today. We'll be back, I'm sure, for pre-match posh midweek. Looking forward to a bit of a bogey ground at Fleetwood next week, but hopefully we'll be able to pick up 3 points and keep ourselves on the tails of Bolton and Portsmouth. So thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. See you next week.